Welcome back to Untold Scandals, where we uncover stories that make you question everything you thought you knew about trust and power. Today's tale is one of those that starts with holy words and ends in absolute chaos. It involves a charismatic pastor, a slick politician, a thick envelope stuffed with cash, and an entire congregation suddenly covered in mud. Yes, actual mud. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please take just a moment to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next in this story. They still talk about it as the day the offering turned dirty. Let's step inside that packed Sunday service. It was a special Thanksgiving Sunday at a large downtown church. The sanctuary was full. High vaulted ceilings, arched stained glass windows casting colorful light across the rows. Hundreds of worshipers filled the wooden pews, dressed in their finest. Bright dresses, sharp suits, colorful headscarves, everyone looking expectant and hopeful. Pastor Daniel stood at the front, tall, commanding, known for fiery sermons against greed and corruption. "No one can serve two masters," he'd thunder. "You cannot serve God and money." The congregation always responded with loud amen, that echoed off the walls. But behind the scenes, the pastor was struggling. The building needed urgent repairs. The roof leaked badly, the heating system failed in winter, and the community outreach programs were running out of funds. Donations had slowed, and bills were mounting. Then came Counselor Victor Hayes. Bald, middle-aged, always in tailored blue suits and glasses. A well-connected local politician who could approve permits, grants, and building permissions with a single phone call. He'd hinted he could help with the church's paperwork, in exchange for a generous donation to show appreciation. The pastor had resisted at first. "I won't compromise the pulpit," he told himself. But the pressure grew. Leaks during services embarrassed everyone. Kids in the youth group had nowhere warm to meet. So, on this Thanksgiving Sunday, Counselor Hayes slipped in quietly and took a seat near the back. After a powerful sermon on integrity, the pastor invited special offerings. People came forward with envelopes, flowers, even small gifts. The choir swelled with song. Then the pastor nodded to an usher. Counselor Hayes was escorted down the center aisle. Heads turned. Whispers spread. "Who's that man in the suit?" The pastor smiled broadly. "We have a generous friend here today who wants to bless this house of worship." Counselor Hayes stepped forward, holding a thick brown envelope. Inside was a large sum of cash, enough to cover every repair and more. The pastor accepted it with both hands, raising it high like a sacred offering. "This is a seed for greater things," he proclaimed. But fate had other plans. As the pastor lifted the envelope triumphantly, the flap gave way. A bundle of notes slipped out, and with it came a gush of thick, oily brown sludge. It wasn't just money. Someone had wrapped the cash in packets smeared with dirt and grease, perhaps to hide it during transport, or maybe as a crude joke. But in the dramatic moment, it burst open. Mud like filth sprayed outward. It hit the front rows first. White blouses turned brown. Suits got streaked. A woman's elegant hat absorbed the mess like a sponge. Row after row, people recoiled as splatters landed on faces, clothes, hair. Screams erupted. "What in heaven's name?" "It's everywhere." The envelope kept leaking. More sludge. More scattered bills mixed with grime. The floor turned into a slippery, muddy disaster. Shoes slid. People grabbed pews to steady themselves. The pastor froze, envelope in one hand, wooden staff in the other. Counselor Hayes looked pale, eyes wide behind his glasses. Then the pastor erupted in fury. He whirled on the politician. "Is this what you call a blessing? Bringing filth and bribes into God's house?" The counselor stammered. It's just a contribution for your help with the permits." The congregation, now looking like they'd been caught in a mudslide, gasped collectively. Phones whipped out. Videos started recording. The pastor raised his staff like a judge's gavel. "You thought you could buy silence with dirty money? Right here, in front of everyone." He hurled the envelope to the floor. Cash fluttered across the mud. Counselor Hayes tried to retreat but slipped, landing hard on his back. Suit ruined. Face splattered. The people exploded. Some shouted in anger. Others wept. A few began chanting, "Shame! Shame!" An older woman in the middle row rose, mud dripping from her dress. "We came to worship, not to witness corruption." The pastor looked out at his stained congregation. The same faces he'd preached purity to week after week. Mud streaked his own robe. Tears cut clean tracks down his dirty cheeks. He sank to his knees in the aisle. "Forgive us," he whispered. "We've all been tainted by this." The service dissolved into pandemonium. Worshippers filed out, clothes ruined, some laughing in disbelief, others in tears. Within hours, clips flooded social media. The cartoon version of the scene went viral. The shocked faces, the confrontation, the mud everywhere. Counselor Hayes vanished from public view for weeks. Investigations later revealed bigger schemes tied to his name. The permits he promised? Never delivered. But Pastor Daniel transformed. The next Sunday, the church was quieter. Many had left for good. Those who remained rolled up their sleeves and cleaned every inch themselves. No shortcuts. The pastor preached a raw sermon. The mud we cannot wash away. He admitted his temptation. I almost traded my calling for cash. But the mess exposed everything. The bribe, my weakness, our collective silence when things felt wrong. He stepped away from the pulpit for months to reflect and rebuild. When he returned, the church had new rules. Full transparency on every donation, public accounts, no private appreciations. In time, the scandal became a cautionary legend. Whenever people see a cartoon of a pastor and politician shaking hands over an envelope, they remember. The dirtiest stains aren't always on the floor. Sometimes they're on the conscience. So, what would you have done in that moment? Would you have confronted it, or stayed silent? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Hit like if this story made you think, subscribe for more eye-opening tales, and pass it on to someone who needs the reminder. In the end, some envelopes are better left unopened. Until next time, stay true. Take care.